Welcome everyone. Today we are going to learn about how sodium is reabsorbed in the kidney by epithelial sodium channels. Now the main function of kidney is to filter the waste product present in the blood plasma like urea. But it also maintains the proper amount of body fluid and the correct concentration of ions in the blood plasma, and by this way it actually maintains the blood pressure. Now in the kidney there is nephron, and in the nephron there is structure called distal tubule and collecting duct. As you can see, this is the structure of nephron, and here is the distal tubule and this is the collecting duct. And in these two structures, epithelial cells are present that actually helps in the reabsorptions. Like as you can see, this is one example of epithelial cells. These cells are called polarized epithelial cells because they have different domains like apical domain and basolateral domain. Now this apical domain actually faces the lumen of the nephron where ultrafiltrate is present. Now what is ultrafiltrate? Ultrafiltrate is the precursor of urine, okay, precursor of urine. And the basolateral domain of the cells actually face the connective tissue that is exchangeable with blood. So there is two different domains present in the cells, and they also contain different types of transporters. So different transporters actually orchestrate to actually reabsorb sodium. Now I will start how reabsorption occurs. I will start with sodium potassium pump at first. So there is a sodium and potassium pump present in the basolateral portions of the cells, and through this sodium potassium pump basically three sodium actually comes out of the cells, okay, comes out of the cells, and 2 potassium actually import occur. So 2 potassium moves inside, okay. Now this is the potassium channel present in the basolateral portion. So this is potassium channel. Through this potassium channels, the potassium that enters can actually come out of the cells. So there is a circulation of potassium occurs. But the main thing is that the sodium ions actually come out of the cells and it actually goes to the blood plasma. So in the inside of the cell, the concentration of sodium is actually low. Remember this. Now this sodium potassium pump actually generates the electrochemical gradient. Remember this term. It actually generates the electrochemical gradient of sodium, because here inside the cell the sodium concentration is low, and in the ultrafiltrate, remember, the sodium concentration is high. So this is the electrochemical gradient of sodium. So here this is the water channel. I will talk about this later. So as because sodium actually come out of the cells, so concentration is low. That's why the epithelial sodium channels that is present in the apical portions of these cells actually reabsorb sodium inside the cells. Why it is occurs? Because outside is higher concentration of sodium, inside is lower. So this is the electrochemical gradient. That means the difference of the sodium concentration outside and inside of the cells, and it actually helps to enter sodiums from outside or ultrafiltrate to the cells, and actually basically this sodium actually joins and it actually moves out of the cells. Potassium channels. Here in the apical portions of these cells, potassium channel is present. Why? Potassium channels actually plays important role because as much as sodium actually moves inside the cells, the outside of this lumen becomes negatively charged, and that actually attract potassium to come out, or secretion occurs. So potassium secretion actually occurs. Potassium actually moves out of the cells. Now one thing we have to understand, when the concentration of the sodium in the ultrafiltrate actually becomes lower, because as much as sodium actually moves through these channels into the blood, the concentration of the sodium actually starts to decrease, okay, it starts to decrease. And when the concentration of sodium decreases, the osmotic force of the sodium also decreases in the ultrafiltrate, osmotic force, and that's why water actually moves through this water channel. Here also a water channel is present. Through water channels it actually comes inside of the cells from the ultrafiltrate and actually go out of the cells through this water channel present in the basolateral portions. By this distal tubule and collecting tubule, approximate 7% of sodium is actually reabsorbed. the significant amount of sodium is actually reabsorbed in the thick ascending limb of the Henle's loop. I have made a separate video on this, how salt, basically sodium chloride, is actually reabsorbed from the loop of Henle, that is the thick ascending limb of the loop of Henle. So, but 70% of sodium is reabsorbed, but don't underestimate it, because it has a special role in the our physiologic system. One thing I want to mention, there is a drug called amiloride. Amiloride. This drug is actually inhibits this channel. So that's why this epithelial sodium channel is also called amiloride sensitive channel. Remember this. Now this drug is actually diuretic drug, and it also helps to treat hypertension. What happens when this drug actually inhibits these channels? So sodium actually reabsorption reduces, and when the sodium concentration, reabsorption reduces, the concentration of sodium remains high in the ultrafiltrate. And when the concentration of sodium is high in the ultrafiltrate, kidney produces larger amount of urine, or output of the urine increases. So this is one important drug, amiloride. Now another thing I want to mention here, that is one syndrome that is called Liddle syndrome. Liddle syndrome, related with this epithelial sodium channel. Now mutation in this channel can cause Liddle syndrome, where the opening time of this channel increases. And when the opening time of the channel increases, what will happen? More sodium will actually reabsorb, and when more sodium will reabsorb, more water will also be reabsorbed. That means in this syndrome, more sodium will go into the blood and more water will go to the blood, increases the blood pressure. So high blood pressure is shown in this patient's Liddle syndrome. Another important point I want to mention is that this channel is actually regulated by one hormone called aldosterone. Now how this aldosterone regulates? Because during salt deprivations or dehydrations, aldosterone is secreted from the adrenal glands, and it actually binds into the kidney, and it increases this aldosterone. When binds with the kidney or nephron, it actually increases the number of these channels in the apical portions. And when the number of channels increases, what will happen? More sodium reabsorption occur. More sodium reabsorption means more water will flow. So more sodium and more water will flow into the blood, and that increases the blood pressure. This epithelial sodium channel is not only present in the kidney, but it is also present in the lungs, and also in the salivary glands, in the gastrointestinal tract. It actually has important roles in our physiology. So this is all about these channels. Hope this video will help you. Thank you for watching, and always keep learning.